everyone, welcome to Control Craft, Rose with you, and today we have a craft video, finally! This is actually sadly my second time recording this audio. I recorded the whole thing, I was so happy with it, I was like, yes, I nailed it. I didn't have my mic on, it was muted. I'm gutted, so now I have to re-record this whole thing. I'm like, am I going to mention everything I'm supposed to remember? Am I going to be as funny as I was last time? Is it all going to come together? I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. But I am back with a craft video. It's been forever since I did a craft video, but this one is very special. This one is very, very special because I made a dress out of Pokemon cards. I am so stoked that I did it, finally. It's a bit of a meme in our Twitch community because I keep talking about this this project that I am never gonna make, and I finally made it. So no one can tease me about it anymore. But ta-da! I made a Pokemon card dress. You can see it right here. It's a bit falling down, but that's okay. My dummy's a little skinnier than I am. But I have finally done it. And I thought I would put together a little tutorial video for you on how to make your own Pokemon card dress. Because when I first was inspired to make it, I found a couple of photos floating around the internet of other women wearing dresses made out of Pokemon cards. They were sort of in a very different style, and I didn't, not at all to bag them out, it just wasn't my taste, the way they did it. And I was like, oh, I would love to make one, and make one for myself and in my own style, but I want to know like how they did it, like the ins and outs, like what did you use, how did you do it? And I couldn't find a tutorial anywhere on the internet. And I was like, this is crap. And then I was like, well, what if I just do it myself and figure it out as I go and then record it so I can share it with people on the internet if they want to make their own. Brilliant. So that's what I did. I had to figure it out as I go, and it was really hard. Lots of like problem solving and like puzzle solving and like, but I did it, guys. So let me kind of walk you through it, because even though you're kind of watching me do it on screen at like 800 times speed, I didn't film everything because it was difficult to film, and I don't know, I feel like I need to kind of walk you through some things. So let me do that. Let me start with the dress underneath. Now, you would have seen me at the beginning of the video, I was sort of sewing and sergering some things. I've made a few dresses on the channel before, so if you want a tutorial on like tips and tricks on how to make a dress, go find one of those videos and watch it. I'm not gonna sort of reiterate that here. But I did make a dress underneath this dress. It is the exact same dress. It's the exact same dress pattern. It's a very simple and wonderful dress pattern, by the way. And that's why I chose it for a project like this. So I made the dress underneath for a very specific reason. And that reason is this outer dress is made of cardboard and plastic. Therefore, it gets very hot when you wear it because it's basically insulation. Insulation? I can never pronounce that word. Anyway, so it gets very hot when you wear it. And living in Queensland, Australia, it's like 5,000 degrees when you wear anything more than a thin t-shirt and a pair of shorts. So it sounds counterintuitive to add an extra layer to it, but the idea is that I'm going to sweat in this dress regardless. If I have a dress made out of fabric underneath, then I can wash that dress separately when it gets gross. And it stops the cards from getting gross from my sweat. So I made like just a short, crappy fabric dress. Like I didn't properly hem it or anything because the point is you're not supposed to see it. It's just to sit underneath so that when you sweat, it doesn't like get all gross and wreck the card dress. So that's why I made the dress underneath. I then go ahead and make the card dress itself. Now, the way I did it was that I took the separate panels of the dress pattern. So the bodice panel, the skirt panel, the side bodice panel, all those panels. I like measured them out, like how big they needed to be. And then I made panels, like massive square rectangular panels out of Pokemon cards so that I could cut the individual dress panels out of those sort of rectangular Pokemon card panels that were really big. I used the word panels a lot just then, and I apologize. I'm not doing a great job at explaining it, but you can sort of see what I'm doing as well. So yeah, so I'm making these sort of like rectangular panels and gluing the cards together with super glue. This project uses a lot of super glue. Like, I mean a lot of super glue. I bought so many packets of super glue. So yeah, be prepared to spend a lot of money on Pokemon cards and a lot of money on super glue. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind as well, is that it is a glue heavy project. It is more crafty than it is sewing oriented. But it's still a craft, so it still counts. Anyway, so I am making the back bodice panel here in this shot. Just gluing all the cards together that I like, making sure they all look nice and they all sort of line up nicely in rows, and then glue them all together. And then I cut the back bodice panel out of that panel. As you can see there, I'm sort of lining it up. Does it fit? Yes, no. Do I need to add more cards? All good, excellent. Oh no, I do add some more cards. Anyway, so yeah, so the idea was that the bodice shape panel was sort of the size of the panel. And normally when you cut out a dress, that panel includes a hemline. There'll be like 3/8 of an inch that you hem. However, to make sure it fit and functioned properly, that panel serves as the actual size of the panel, and then I add an extra inch of a hem all the way around the outside, so that when I go to attach the panels together, they like, I can bend that hem round and then glue it, sort of like if I bend the hem round and glue it behind the next cardboard panel. Did I explain that well? You'll see it in the video. I also bought this funky knife. You could use scissors to cut out the panels shapes, you could do that. I find scissors a bit awkward. It's much easier just to stand over it and just trace the outline with a sharp knife. So I went and bought a funky knife and totally wrecked the blade with super glue, but that's okay because the blade is interchangeable, so I can buy new blades, it's not a problem. I also bought this funky new blue craft board because I didn't have one and I needed something that I could cut on, and I knew it was going to be a big project, so I needed a big board. So I managed to go out and nab this funky blue big board. This sounded a lot better in my first recording. If only I hadn't muted my mic like an idiot. Anyway. So, I'm really happy with how the project turned out. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. To be honest, I was a little bit worried about putting this craft on the internet. Simply because I know that a lot of people are very precious about their Pokemon cards. And I might get some heat for using Pokemon cards for craft. I don't think I used any cards that were worth anything in particular. Like, I think a lot of people would be upset if I used like a VMAX shiny Charizard in this craft. But like, most of them, I think I used about like 20 C-Dots, you know, and like a couple of lame Pikachus. Like, there's nothing good or worth anything in this project. But I still know that there'll probably be some people out there that'll get upset. That's life. I'm kind of hoping that that people will really enjoy this and that it might blow up a little bit on the internet, but we'll see. No biggie. But yeah, so as I was saying earlier, the reason I wanted to make this tutorial is because I couldn't find any tutorials on the internet. So I wanted to make one myself so that if you ever want to try a project with cardboard or cards, and you want to try and make an outfit out of it, you know how to do it now. You know the kind of techniques I use, what products I use, and how I did it. Actually, this is a really cool part. So what I did here, right, is that these panels for the dress, when you cut them out of fabric, they're a bit more malleable. So they sort of curve around the feminine physique. Let's put it like that. However, I had trouble getting the cardboard to like maneuver and go round. And so what I had to do was that inch hem that I talked about around the outside that I was going to bend to glue against the other bits of cardboard, I actually cut little like sort of slits. So what I ended up with, instead of a one long hem, was lots of little tabs. So I could sort of glue down a tab at a time and then sort of like glue down the next tab and kind of like push the cardboard and shape it the way I wanted it to. And so you glue a tab down, you have to hold it for like 20 seconds and then let go before like the glue is set enough. See, you can see me cutting there, cutting all those little slits. Before the glue is set enough that you can sort of take your hand off again. So there's moments where I'm just standing there like doing nothing and you're like, what is she doing? I'm trying to push down the glue and make sure it stays in shape so that it curves round. So that's something else to consider if you're gonna make your own, is that finding an easier pattern will definitely help you when trying to do tricky stuff like making it curve, because it is very difficult to do. Also super glue, you have to use super glue because it is a difficult project and you need everything to stick together really well. But like, once it's glued down, that's it. So you really can't afford to make a mistake. So you have to just be really careful when doing it, really alert, don't do it when you're tired. Also take all the other, you know, regular safety precautions when, of course, using super glue. But yeah, the only other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to this craft project is the hemline. So the hemline I've got around the project is fabric. What I did was I cut the necessary lengths in fabric, serged the edges, folded them over and ironed them so it was nice and easy. And then I just sort of had to kind of like start at one end, super glue it, and then like work my way around, super gluing as I go, and sort of just like trying to manipulate it so it would go around funny corners and edges. And there's a couple of reasons why I chose to add that sort of outline or hemline. First of all, I think it is a great outline. I think it really outlines the craft and makes it pop. Secondly, the edges were a bit scrappy after I'd cut them, so I think it adds a nice finish around the edges. And thirdly, the cardboard is very sharp. And so, especially like under the armpits, I wanted to put some fabric over the top where I've cut it so that when I put my arms down, I don't cut into my armpits, but that it's nice and soft under my armpits. So there's a few reasons why I chose to add that fabric all the way around outlining the dress. And the bodice is coming together. I'm gluing down the Velcro at the moment. So the dress is held together with strips of Velcro down the side instead of like, I don't know, a zip or something. It makes it much easier to get in and out of. So I'm adding I had a lot of difficulty adding the Velcro because the fabric and the plastic didn't want to talk to each other, and I had to hold them down for like a minute each. Like there I am just being like, oh, why isn't this sticking? It was very frustrating, but it did get it to work in the end. I actually just watching this back, watching that bodice come together at the time was so exciting. It was like my dream for the last 12 months has finally come to life, you know, and I've actually done it. Like that's what it felt like. It was very exciting. Here I am, I've already cut out some panels here. Like I said, I didn't film everything. I didn't actually film me doing the outline of the hem. And the reason is it's just too difficult because I was like all over the house trying to do it. And so I was like, nah, I'm just gonna verbally tell you how I did it. But there I am just gluing all the panels together and making sure they all stick together and stay down. But I'm just so stoked with how this whole project turned out. I'm just so happy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to wear it, but I hope that I get to wear it out and about soon. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will do my best to try and explain something or answer something. I don't know everything, but I'll do my best, guys. I'm about to enter like a short video where I'm like showing off the dress. It's very I'm out of frame because I've got such a small room that I couldn't sort of zoom out enough to get my whole sort of stature, but you get the idea of what the dress looks like on my body. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. My TikTok, my Instagram are down below. I've got photos and videos of this on TikTok and Instagram. Come join us in our Twitch community. I'd love to have you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!